Hello viewers, this is Jetman1 bringing you guys another video on how to be an ESF pro pilot. And we're going to be beginning with the weapons. As when you first start with an ESF, you have the M18 Needler and the extended afterburner field tanks. This is their main two starting weapons. Or I should say weapon. The M18 Needler is a fantastic starter weapon to play with. It's a standard air superiority nose cannon, which is not a bad start. The extended afterburner field tanks is something that's okay for those newer players, so when you first load up a Mosquito, which is battle rank 10, give it a shot and see how you like these two. Now, before I get into more depth about the M18 Needler and the external afterburners field tanks and their weapons, we're going to head over to the gear immediately. Engagement radar is the first thing you're going to see. An engagement radar causes the HUD to highlight and track hostile aircraft at a range of 300 meters. This is kind of garbage. And the reason why I say this is all it does is just when aircraft get near you, they highlight. Which is just kind of dumb. It just auto spots people around you. Or aircraft around you. It's useless. Don't bother with it. Because you're going to get spotted no matter what. From infantry, even you can even spot people in aircraft. They're not used. Decoy flares. Oh, decoy flares is a good way to use the hit-and style run attack where you shoot up some enemies if you get locked on and you can disrupt their lock-ons. I would recommend this. I highly recommend having this, as it's a very, very good thing to have if you're trying to escape. It may not be good when you're engaging multiple infantry targets and you're just trying to do as much damage as possible. You're going to get shot up by weapons, pistols, stuff like that, and then rocket launchers and dumbfire launchers. Decoy flares is only meant when you're engaging somebody and they're trying to lock onto you with anti-air missiles or anti-launcher missiles, anti-air launchers. I highly only recommend if you're going to use this for hit-and-run style attacks, and also if you're trying to, when you're 1v1ing someone, they're locking on with you, you can use this. Scout Radar, just same thing like the engagement radar, except it tracks people, vehicles, and people. Crap, don't do it. It's completely stupid. You're flying around. You could see infantry anyways. You know, you don't need it. Infantry gets spotted anyways. Don't bother with it. Injection systems. Jumping out of a vehicle will make you basically take no fall damage. Garbage. All you're doing is making your KD look nice and pissing off pilots that kill you. Very stupid and useless, and I don't know why you would use this. But I will tell you what it is good for very soon. Fire suppression. I highly recommend it. What it does is when you activate it, it will knock out fire and also repair your vehicle. I recommend to try to get it to level 3 or 2 or 4 maxed out, whatever. This is highly recommended. If you're on fire, you can extinguish it and it's going to get you up there. It's going to maybe get to half of your health, which is very good. Or if you're in 1v1 fight, you lose half health activated and you just shoot up straight up back to your normal health. Highly, highly recommended. I cannot tell you, it's even better than decoy flares. It's more for the bulkier attacks and the huge 1v1 fights or 2v2 fights, stuff like that. Highly, highly recommended. Airframes. Airframes come down to personal opinions. Okay, you got dogfighting, hover, and racer high speed airframe. Don't like this at all. Don't bother using it unless you're going with the injection system combination. If you're trying to use your ESF as a damaging type of thing and then just damage some vehicles and infantry, jump out, or get to a position quickly, I highly recommend it. But after all, it's really not good, but it does come down to personal preference. Hover stability. Hover stability airframe is honestly a very cool looking airframe. Not cool looking, but very helpful airframe, as it improves your hover, air brake, and vertical thrust. Fantastic with Hellfire pods for the TR, the Photon pods for the Vanu Summer T, and also breaker pods for the Terran Republic. Also good with the missiles. I can't remember what the missiles are. Just give me a second, guys. The Hornet missiles. Fantastic combination if you're trying to snipe people across the map and you want that good hover stability for breaker pods and also Hornet missiles. Fantastic. Dogfighting airframe. One of my favorite airframes, as you're going to be engaging air mostly than hovering. This airframe will improve your turn, roll, and agility, and will also help you be more agile when you're fighting aircraft and such like. Highly, highly recommend it. But it does get kind of tricky to use as your aircraft feels very light, so I would be very careful when using dogfighting airframe. Honestly, one of my favorite dogfighting and hover stability, one of my two favorite ones. Alright, nanite, oh sorry, wrong one. Nanite auto repairs, god dang it, nanite auto repair systems and also vehicle stealth and also composite armor are interesting things. I'm gonna go ahead and start with composite armor. Composite armor is, for starters, I highly recommend it for if you're a starter player, as it reduces flak from 15% and infantry small arms by 4%. I highly recommend it if you're trying to get used to flying ESFs and trying to learn it, as it will help you, because flak is one big thing in this game and infantry tends to shoot you a lot. I highly recommend it for new players. If you're a veteran player, I guess it would be good for you, but I highly recommend it for the newer players. Vehicle stealth is complete garbage. All it does is just reduce lock-ons and mini-map auto-detect range of vehicle. You're still going to get spotted. You're still a big target in the sky. Not as big as Liberators and also Galaxies. It's just useless, because if you think about it, lock-ons are everywhere. If you're in a big fight and you get locked on and you escape that lock-on using all that afterburners, someone could be over there in the corner and just lock onto you, and it doesn't matter. By the time you escape, it's too late and you're going to get shot up. Nanite auto repair system is honestly one of my favorite. Composite, and of course Nanite, one of my favorite twos. But I highly recommend Nanite auto repair systems for pros and veteran players, as this thing is just fantastic. It repairs your vehicles every 5 seconds. As you upgrade it, it will repair more and more of its health. It's such a good thing, because if people are, say they damage you a little bit, or if you get rocked and you're escaping and you want some time to heal your health, or someone's chasing you and they damage you a little bit and they miss after like for 5 seconds, you could turn around and get your health back, as it just heals you. Fantastic, and I highly recommend it to keep upgrading it. Which I have it at rank 1, and it's still fantastic, even though I recommend to upgrade it a little bit more. Entering weapons now. Weapons, you have the M18 Needler, which is your starter, M14 Banshee, M18 Rotary, and M18 Locust. I highly recommend Banshee and Rotary. Needler's a good way to start out, but if you're going with the more advanced weapons, the Rotary and the Banshee is your two biggest one. I recommend Banshee for air vehicles and ground vehicles, light vehicles, as this thing does fantastic damage against ESFs and light armored vehicles. It also can do good against other big aircraft like Libs and Galaxies. But the M18 Rotary is more for Galaxies and Liberators and more for ESFs. Why do I say it? The M18 Rotary has high damage, close range, on rounds quickly, so it's good for like big vehicles, as for Liberators and Galaxies, because they're slow, and because it's such fast, it goes really fast. It hits targets fast, and what that does, it's just good for big vehicles. So for air vehicles, air combat, people are close to you, hell yeah, this thing is fantastic. But I recommend the M4 Banshee and the M18 Needler for both of them. M18 Locust, I just don't know why people really use this, but if you miss a lot and you want to have a larger magazine, I highly recommend the M18 Locust. Moving on. Hellfire, Tomcat, Hornet, Coyotes, and external afterburner field tanks. We talk about this. This is just good for starters if you're trying to learn how to fly. Hellfire rocket pods are good for against infantry and also vehicles and air vehicles. I highly recommend it if you're going to learn if you're looking for the higher damaging just missiles. These things are fantastic against everything. I highly recommend them once you start getting skilled by using other missiles, which I'll tell you. Hellfire rocket pods are good for everything. Just really good. Tomcat A2AM pods is highly recommended for players that are going to try to snipe ESS from longer ranges, as this thing will require you to lock on fire but maintain the lock too. So you got to be very careful. That's why I recommend at longer ranges, as you get more chance to lock on that player, shoot it, and have more of an advantage to see where that person is going, so you can maintain that lock until it hits. It does massive damage, but it is for players that are kind of just sniping or just lazy. Hornet missiles require a little bit more skill. These things can do massive damage if both of them hit, or if one of them hit. They're fantastic missiles. They fly towards your crosshairs, meaning you can control it. Very good with hover stability, as you're just going to hover, shoot these, and guide your missiles with your crosshair. Fantastic. Coyote missiles are the best for anti-air or air-to-air fights, as these things will shoot very fast and also inflict light damage, and once and for all, they will also auto-lock themselves, meaning if they get close, they will freaking hit them. They're very good. They're very good. So that is basically your ESF upgrades and what you guys have to know. In the next episode, you guys will learn how to fly. Thank you guys for watching, and I will show you guys more how to be a pro flyer.